Hello everyone, and welcome to Dyson Sphere program. I'm Zixradoom, and this is my Let's Play series. So, this is a game that I started a while ago. I just started playing Dyson Sphere programs, my first time playing it. And we are at the end of the game. So, I am working on transitioning from a very small production batch into a large one. This is the universe I started in. Solar system's right here. This is where I currently am. And this is where I'm going, an O-type star. So I've already gone through most of the tech tree. I already have everything researched except for a couple, I'm working on the infinite researches. So in this episode, we're going to be making these guys, titanium crystals, and we are building a small batch array. So I'm looking to produce 24 per second right now. And yeah, so let's get into the build. You can see I've got the interstellar logistic stations, so I've got those unlocked. So you can see here I have 32 of these Mark 1 assemblers, and we need 128 to make this build. So 32, 32, 64, 64, 64, 128. So there we go. I've copied and pasted the blueprint, as you can see. The blueprint tool is very handy. I enjoy it most of the time. I find it's a little annoying to use going across pardon me, going across strong latitude lines. You can see here on the grid. These lines here, where they change the grid square size, I find them very annoying to work over that space. Obviously, it's kind of a pain. But when you're between those lines, the blueprinting system is very handy. Now, why am I using Mark 1s versus Mark 2s or Mark 3s, which I obviously have unlocked at this point? I am using them because Mark 1s use less power. And I am not using antimatter to fuel this planet. I'm using deuterium fuel rods. So eventually I might switch over to antimatter, and then it won't matter anymore quite so much. But in the meantime, we're going with low power. So we got the proliferator on the in-kind items, but the arrays themselves are all low power. They're all Mark 1 sorters, as low as possible. The belts are all Mark 1 belts. I mean, the trunk lines here at the ends will be Mark 3s, but the Mark 1s, are fast enough. We've got 128 to make 24 a second, so, this recipe is pretty slow, 4 per second. I mean, each one of these lines is going to output 3 per second. This one 3 per second, so 3 and 3 is 6, and then 6, 12, 18, 24. So alright, so we got the lines laid out. We've got them all built up. Sorry you guys didn't get to see me build out the array. I had just built it out before I decided to start shooting a YouTube video. So alright, so we need inputs. What do we need? We need organic organic crystals and titanium ingot. So we'll go ahead and set up the tower. We want proliferator. And we want organic crystals. And we want titanium, and we're going to be outputting titanium crystals. So on these arrays, when I'm starting to build up here at the end game, I decided I'm basically just going to let the towers fill up with as much as they possibly can hold. I don't know if that's a bad idea yet or not. This is my first time ever playing this game, but we'll see how it works out. I'm not going to turn those on just yet because we need to hook up the arrays. So So 24 a second, these blue belts can handle 30 per second. So we won't have a throughput issue for the export. Eventually, when this array gets bigger in size or we update the machines, we'll either have to deconstruct the entire array and do some math and build up a new one, or we will not upgrade the machines ever, and this array will just stay like this, and we'll build a new array somewhere else. And that'll be that. So we've hooked up the array backbone, or main belt. I can't remember what people call this in other games, but this is essentially the feed lines and the export lines here on the arrays. So we need 24 organic crystal per second, and we need titanium. Where'd my titanium go? I have a calculator off screen that I'm using. And we need 72 titanium. Looks right. So that's a lot. Well, for this array. I mean, I imagine other people build much, much bigger than I do, and so it costs them a bit more. Yeah, so 72 ingots per minute. That's 12 yellow belts. So 12 times 6 is 72. So a blue belt, which is 30 times 4 for a 4 stack. So that's 120. So one blue belt will be able to serve the entire array. So on the towers here, you can see my tech limit. I'm up to 4, so items come out of the tower stacked to 4 already. So just go ahead and feed those in. Is that the right belt? That is not the right belt. This should not be titanium. This should be... So you can see here, actually, I've got green inserters for titanium and the yellow inserters for the organic crystal. Now, I don't have to use a blue belt for the organic crystal, but I find doing the backbone, so far in my building technique, I've found doing the backbone, the feed and output with blue belts just makes things easier, simplifies some of the math. Alright, and so we'll go ahead and set that one up. There we go. And then the output line. Alright, so we just hook up the proliferator. Awesome. We're gonna have to get the space warpers hooked up actually in this tower. Yeah, in this tower I have room, so I have a free slot. So for now, I mean, eventually later I might do something else, but for now I will request them via logistics drone. Logistics drone. We'll request them by logistics drone. It just saves on some belting work. Okay, so we're all hooked up. We've got power. Nobody's complaining about power. Let's go ahead and turn the array on. We need these guys, and we need these guys. Forgot to put in ships. Let's put in some ships. Actually, we don't need that many of these. We're not building. I'm not building any of the. I'm not making the crystals, and I'm not making the bars on this planet. So we'll actually only put in a couple logistics ships. There we go. We got some of our crystals, so you can see here. I don't know if you can see, it's going by really fast, but you can see the stack to 4. Stack to 4. Not really easy to see, unfortunately. let's go take a look and see how it's doing. Alright. So we're feeding all the way to the end, it looks like, so... looks pretty good. Okay, so why do we need a whole bunch of, well, I guess not a whole bunch, but why do we need titanium crystals? Titanium crystals are used to make these guys, Casimir crystals, which I'm making over here. It's a 1-to-1, so this is another 128 array. And why do we need Casimir crystals? Casimir crystals are needed for these suckers, these plane filters. The plane filters are used for quantum chips, so we need, I'm trying to get to 12 per second on the quantum chips, so the next array we're going to be building is the array for the plane filter, and that is going to be humongous comparatively. It's very big. That's going to take 384 Mark 1 machines. It's quite impressive in my opinion. A lot of stuff. So yeah, looks like we're going. All the machines are functioning. I don't see anybody out of resources, which is a good sign. Yep, and we're already using up the titanium crystals. You can see we're getting them over here. Oh, I guess this tower can use a whole bunch of these guys. Because as time goes on, the towers will fill up. You know, as demand ebbs and flows, towers will fill, and so you'll get a huge transfer whenever there's a demand. And the arrays will boot up and start running. Now let's just make sure these guys are all painted with proliferator. No, these guys are not. And the titanium isn't. Interesting. Oh, we've got a whole bunch at the higher level. The organic crystal may actually be coming from an organic crystal vein, which is a rare vein, so this is technically a waste of proliferator for things that are not quite there yet, that have already been painted with proliferator once, but we're going to spray them again just to make sure we can get maximum savings on the input, because you know, as we go higher and higher, the stuff gets more and more expensive to make, so ideally we want to be saving as much as possible here. That prolifer isn't... What's going on? Ah, power issues. So if we have power issues, the sprayer doesn't always spray reliably or at the highest tier, so let's go put together some power for these guys. So this is my standard welcome to planet tower. I just put in, you know, basically the resources that are used in small enough quantities where only having a single tower remote demanding them makes sense. And one of those things is power, so let's do some power. These are yellow belts. The throughput on this stuff is not big, mostly because I haven't built a massive generation array. It gets the job done so far. I'm finding that so far it suits my needs. We'll see if it becomes a little ridiculous and switch over to antimatter becomes a little more important, but compared to what some of the other people in the community can do, you know, this is pretty small batches comparatively. This is my first foray into transitioning from really small batch arrays into making much larger installations. So it looks like we're having hydrogen request issues here, so we might need to do something different with the hydrogen. eventually, to make sure that we have enough on hand. Alright, so that's that. Let's go over here in an open spot. Let's take a look at the map real quick. This is going to be a little cramped, it looks like. So, looks like this might be the place to go. I don't remember how to lock the planet on the North Pole, so that's why I keep hitting N to keep the pole up. So I don't think I want to put the next array here because these veins are in the way. And I'm not using foundations or landfill yet, and I haven't won the game yet. If you take a look at the tech tree, at the very end you have mission complete. I didn't do this yet, mostly because I'm challenging myself to stick with the no foundations and no landfilling. So we're not gonna bury those veins. We're probably gonna move the array over here. Okay, so let's get this array built. So when I do these things, I am a little OCD about grid lines and stuff, just a little bit. I try not to be quite so rigid, but yeah, it happens to the best of us. Alright, what do these things need? Our plane filter. Plane filter needs Casimir crystals and titanium glass. Titanium glass. Okay, and these 12 seconds for one. So we can use just plain inserters in the entire sorters in the entire array. Alright, and it's 2 inputs, so let's go ahead. We'll lay this out. Now, this build needs 384 of these. So that's 128 arrays. So I think because the build time is so slow, we're going to try and do 64 assemblers on a line for this build. We'll see how close we get. Oh, mostly because I'm low on assemblers. Happens to the best of us, I suppose. Alright, and get the output right here. Yep, that looks good. Okay, we're gonna need tons of stuff, so let's go ahead and go shopping before I try and finish this build. Here we are in the home system. Well, looking at the home system. You can see this is where I started, where I built my first Dyson Sphere. It is the very first one I ever built. So if it's terrible, then please leave your ridicule in the comments. I'd be glad to hear how I can do better. Alrighty, let's warp out of here. So I got into Dyson Sphere not too long ago. I don't have that many hours into this game. Compared to other games like Factorio or Satisfactory. So I'm still learning, as I go. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of interesting and complex production lines in this game. So lots of fun things to experience. Where's the mall? There's the mall. Yes, so here's my mall, or whatever people call it, the hub. I generally call it the mall, because, you're going shopping at the mall. So you can see it's fed by these towers on the periphery. I did like a main bus kind of thing. I think in the future I gotta plan it out better. This is the first time I ever tried to do something like this in this game. And you can see it got kind of messy, so in the future I'm gonna have to revamp the build a little bit. Alright, what what do we need? I think we're good on power and on miners. We need yellow belts. Let's pick up some of these guys. Oh, what the heck? Just pick up a whole stack. We need these guys. That looks like it for those. We're gonna need these for the hydrogen because we gotta build up a reserve. Oh, that is not enough assembly machines. That's not good. Probably should pick up some towers while we're here. What else do we need? Alright, so... I think that's it. Don't really need any deuterium, antimatter fuel rods right now. So we're just waiting on the assembly machines, because we don't have nearly enough for this build yet. In fact, because I've been using so many of them, we're just gonna build all the assembly machines. Basically doing all Mark 1 assembly machines right now, so... And now, don't get me wrong, I do have some arrays that use the Mark 3s. Here's some Mark 3s. Here's some arc smelters, and I have used the plane smelter. I have some of those built, and you can see here the advanced mining machines. I'm using advanced mining machines more and more on newer planets. This is the second planet I started building factories on. But yep, there you can see some of the plane smelters. Okay, so we're getting close. Getting close. We need 384 of these, so a little bit more. In fact, we can probably pick up some of these and some of these. What was that again? Some of these, and build them in our inventory on the way. It's gonna be close. What are we missing? Iron plates. Alright, so let's just get all those building. Alright, and let's head back to that manufacturing planet. It was over here. And that was on not the ice lake. It's on Ashen, that one. Alright, there we go. And off we go. We can build up those mining machines as we fly back. That's weird. Sometimes the warp does not engage when I click the caps lock button. It's odd. So, like I was saying before, my goal is to move all the way out to that star right there, whose name I can't pronounce. That's where we're going, eventually. We're building out that way. That's where we're going to build the next Dyson Sphere. It's a O-type star. As far as I can tell, it's got the strongest luminosity in my entire star cluster. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a slight cold, so. Alright, so let's build up this array. Everything can use tier 1 inserter, so it's probably boring as heck for people, but I think it makes a lot of economic sense in the long run. So we can do that. Alright, just drag these suckers out. So we're looking to do 64. So we may not actually be able to make it fit. Probably gonna have to go. That's 24, so we might have to just go with 32 here. That looks like it's all it's gonna fit. Whoops. Was the wrong direction. And if my calculations are correct, that should be... That's 30. Nope. Off by 1. Well, off by 1 column, I guess. It's a fairly typical computer thing, off by 1. Boundary conditions and all that can be a little annoying. So we need power poles in here. Let's go ahead and put in some power poles. I realize you can probably spread these out farther. I'm doing them roughly every 3. We're not being 100% perfect about that. It's not really critical. As long as everybody gets power, good, and they do. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and put on the end manifold. Now, I do this in the end manifold to make sure I've got space to build a stacker for the outputs. Mostly because if we increase the throughput in the future, I want to make sure we've got room to expand the belt lines or do higher level machines, and we'll be able to fit in a stacker for the output lines. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we'll be able to just straight upgrade the machines in the future, because one of the downsides is the new machines may have such a high consumption rate that we won't be able to feed them with the belt lines we've got set up. So it would be a matter of having to import more materials, but there is an advantage to the way that I build the belt structures, the manifold structures, when it comes to that kind of thing. So alright, that's our blue belt output. So we'll go ahead and delete these for now. We don't need them right now. We just want to make sure we leave space for them in case we need them in the future. Okay, so there we go. That's one array of 32. Whoops, that was not the right button. There we go. Use now. Alright, and there's 128. 32, sorry. Here's 64. I apologize, it's been a long day. Braining is a difficult thing at times, as all of you I'm sure are aware. Alright, we're gonna run the belt that way. Okay, so what happened here? Oh, we put a belt in the wrong direction. Let's try again. Let's try again. Come on. There we go. Is this one alright? That one's alright. This one is not. Let's try it. Let's fix that real quick. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hook this one up first and start up the array before I start adding new elements. So let's go ahead and get our Casimir crystals and our titanium glass, and we'll get our proliferator, of course, and then we'll get our warpers, because we're gonna need to get some of these resources from another planet that makes them. Oh, that was the wrong one. Nope, that's the right one. We don't want to give away our warpers and our proliferator, so we demand from the local tower that imports them from the rest of the network. Alright, and our plane filter. That's our output, so these up because I just noticed they're not hooked up. And we'll do blue belt of Casimir crystals. Now remember, these are a 4-stack. I've got the upgrade all the way on the logistics towers, so we get a whole 4-stack for each item on the belt. So that's 30 times 4. That's our total throughput of items per second. Alright, and we'll put up the proliferator. Very nice, very nice. It's going. Oh, geez, did we put power to the other proliferator tower? I don't know if we did. Let's go check real quick. And that one's got power, and that one's got power. Good. Didn't forget it. Now, I know these guys aren't hooked up power-wise yet. We'll get to that in just a second. I think we're just going to go right from there. I like to put these on the corner here. Okay, outputs. Inputs. Power. Put in some ships because we don't have any in here. We're gonna full stack of bots because we're making the Casimir crystals here. Probably overkill, but might as well. Go ahead and drop these leftover materials in this machine. Don't need those. Oops, the shift quick by accident. And there's no room. Okay, so wait on that. Alright, these are coming in from another planet. So here's our Casimir crystals going in. Beautiful. Oh, and there's some of our titanium. What is it? Titanium glass? I don't remember the name of this thing. Titanium glass, so that's right there. Awesome. We are getting a plane. Oh, not yet. I jumped the gun a little there. There we go. Right there. Got him. Very nice. So again, for these high tier items, I don't know if the full... Like, this may be way overkill, but my kind of thought process is, I mean, when the machines aren't in demand, might as well build up a buffer. I know with balancing and all that good stuff, like having buffers kind of masks problems sometimes when you've got not enough throughput, not enough machines, but with how spread out you are in Dyson Sphere, like I've only really colonized this world, this star system, and I think I built some stuff in this one. But look, we got all of these stars to build on, like, and all of them have planets around them. So there's a ton of space in the star cluster, like, you know. So my idea is that if we fill up the towers all the way, you know, if it turns out that we do see a problem, we go to another star system. If we don't have space in the current one, plunk down another tower and start building another array of machines. So that's kind of my thought process on this. So good. We're making those things, but boy are they slow. Holy cow, that's why we need such big arrays for this. Well, I mean, big from my point of view. I mean, I haven't played the game very long, like I said. Like, this is my first time kind of doing the whole mega Dyson Sphere factory thing. So it's probably not huge compared to other people's, but this is my playthrough, not theirs, so it's big to me. So there we go. We just added a new array. Copy, paste, plunk, off we go. Oh, I'm gonna go down here in the end. These guys build. So again, we need 380 of these machines, and we currently have 96. So we got a little bit of a ways to go here before this array is done. You know what? This is distracting me a lot. So before we go on with this, I'll just take a little hiatus here. Slap down this guy. Give him some power. Not quite. Let's try that again. Give him some power. There we go. Alright, and just put down a miner for these guys over here. There we go. Beautiful. I don't know why it does that sometimes. So this is hard to tell. Looks like this might need a belt upgrade. Oh, we've got power issues again. So yeah, I mean, I might have to. This is gonna be one of my first major manufacturing hubs off planet, and it looks like we're having power issues. So I might be switching over to antimatter sooner than I thought, because it's getting a little not great. Looks like we want to build the next array of these over here. Looks like it. Nope. Which line was that? That one. This one. Yeah, so when all these machines are running, it's going to be quite the power draw, so we should probably just build out a whole bunch of these things right now. Oh, thank you. Okay. I don't... There we go. That's better. I'll just go ahead and run a belt right over here. Oh, let's fix that. There we go. No power on that one. There we go. Perfect. I'll just take this whole array right along. Fill it all the way in. I don't have to worry about. I mean, there's a chance we'll burn up some more fuel rods than we really need to, but you know, for now, it should do the job. Eventually, we can switch it over to antimatter. We might actually not have enough of these coming out of here. Maybe. I got a feeling we're gonna have to go look at our deuterium manufacturing right here eventually. I don't know how much I'm actually sucking out of that thing right now. Let's go ahead and update those. And this one right there on the end. Come on. Right there. There we go. Just to make sure that we're going to get enough to feed the array. I think I'm probably worrying about it. I don't have to, but... There we go. Okay, so... We're getting these, plane filter, which is awesome. This is, let's see, what do we need for... Where are those quantum chips? So quantum chips need plane filters and processors, and we have processors. We've got green chips right there. We've got blue chips right there. Well, so green chips are, what are they called? Circuit boards. Circuit boards there. We've got microcrystalline component there. Processors there. Casimir crystals. Titanium crystal. And then... Now, I do plan on mining these nodes. I just haven't built the miners yet. And then here we go. We've got our plane filters. So the next array that I guess we'll be building right over there on the other side of that miner will be the finished product, which will be our quantum chips. But that is going to be it for this episode of my Let's Play. So if you guys enjoyed this, Please leave a like, and if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys again real soon.